Hey there, Maddie.
Hey. I need to sit like this so I can actually see you.
So we were directed to this amazing room.
Yes, we were.
At our beautiful local library.
Yes, amen to that.
And we are here to talk about Myers-Briggs types, because we're the same freaking type.
What?
ENTP. And so when I met you recently, and our eyes met across the table at the Christmas cookie decorating party.
How I met Laura.
Yes. I was actually really surprised, like, oh my gosh, here's a person who is very similar to me. And I wasn't sure if you were like an ENTP or an ENFP.
Yeah.
But you're an ENTP.
Yes, I am.
So that's super fun.
It is fun.
So tell me about your journey. How do you know you're really an ENTP?
Oh my gosh. How do I not know I'm not really an ENTP is the more proper question.
Okay.
Because I just feel like whenever something happens, like a big event in my life, I usually think about it. I'm not really much of a feeler person.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by a big event?
Like, for example, any big decision, like, should I go to school? Or, like when I made the decision to go to college, it was more of a thinking decision, like, okay, this will help me in these areas. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about it more in a logical way. Mm-hmm. Some people are like, oh, I feel like I need to go to school, or they just... And yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when I first took the test, I was typed as an ENFP.
Okay.
And then I retook it again, and I got ENTP, and I kept taking it over and over again just to make sure. And I was like, yeah, this type I relate to way more closely than the ENFP.
Yeah.
Because the ENFP was kind of like more of the diplomat. Not that I can't be diplomatic, but it's not like I'm like, oh, everybody... just everyone just, have a big touchy-feely party, like just where they express their whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, when I am resolving conflict, for me, it's more like, okay, you have this point of view, you have this point of view.
Yeah.
I'm going to analyze what the differences and similarities are in your viewpoints and try to reconcile you to each other.
That's so interesting. I don't know if I do that. I can't even think... I feel like when I do try to find common ground. That's very important.
That's basically all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking about it too much.
No,
but, yeah.
Sometimes I make things sound more complicated than they actually are.
No, I think what you're saying is good. Trying to find common ground between two parties.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Which it's not like Fs don't do that.
Yeah.
But the feelers I know who are peacemakers, it often is coming from that place that you described, like, oh, let's just all get along.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want you to fight. Whereas I'm like, it doesn't make sense for you to be fighting right now. Yeah,
exactly. And like, I mean, even when we had that like mini debate the other day, like, it's not like we're like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings because my opinion is different. It's like, no, our opinions are different. We can ask each other questions about each other's stances and like figure out why we believe that. But it's not like this thing of, oh, I'm so sorry that like, we're talking about this, or I'm so sorry that I have this opinion that differs from yours. So it's different. It's in a good way. Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So, why do you think that you got the F results?
I actually don't know. I think when I took it, I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
And when I retook it when I was a little bit older, like even a year or two older, like not that much of a difference, I just changed, like I feel like even going to college changed, like kind of changed my type a little bit, but like, and it's not that I don't feel things. I mean, I'm a human. I feel emotions,
I don't.
That is such a weird thing.
You're not a real T.
You're not a real T. You feel emotions. You know, but I think that I was a little bit more, when you're younger, you tend to be, or at least I was, tend to be a little bit more like, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to upset anybody. Like, I don't want to, you know, you kind of stay away. And I feel like, or, you know, at least from my experience, because I feel like when you're younger, you, especially with authority figures, you look up at, you know, your parents or your aunts and your uncles, and you know, the things that they believe in, you kind of believe in them too, and then you grow up and realize, you kind of analyze it for yourself and figure out what you believe. But when you're younger and, you know, somebody says this opinion that they have, or they believe this about this, you kind of go along with it a little bit more, and you're a little bit more diplomatic. You don't necessarily. Really? That's how I was when I was a kid.
Do you think that's how you were raised?
I think, honestly, sometimes I feel like the older I've gotten, the less I care for authority figures. Like, the more I feel like I can question them. Does that make sense?
Because I mean, when I was a kid, I was gullible.
Yeah, so was I.
Okay. That's what I was saying. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Basically, yeah. I didn't really think about, I would just be like, oh, you know, and also certain people in my family have, like in my extended family, have opinions about certain stuff that I don't, you know, obviously I don't hold those opinions. But it's like, when you grow up, you just learn how to question them better and learn how to kind of argue better than you would when you were a kid. That was my experience.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's how I feel like that works for me.
Because what did you do? Well, okay, so I was gullible. And I would just believe things that people told me because I was trusting. But if I disagreed with someone, I would fight them.
I would fight them?
Like, physically.
Physically fight?
Like verbally and physically.
Attack?
Yeah, like...
Laura the attack?
I eventually stopped doing it because a lot of times the conflicts would be with boys who were teasing me.
Oh my gosh.
So once they got bigger than me and, like, actually could beat me up, I stopped doing that because I realized it wasn't a good idea. But the last time I probably did that was in, like, 5th or 6th grade. A boy said something mean to me, and I just dug my fingernails into his arm and kept him there for, like, 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. I never did that. There might have been time. I'm trying to think of an instance where I did something like that. I'm trying to think of a time, like, I know that I was always growing up, and even now, very justice oriented, which means, like, if something happens, like, you know, like, for example, like, when I went to school, I had to, for the first semester, I had a history teacher, and he was not a great guy. I don't know if I've ever told you this story.
Probably not.
He was not a good teacher. Like, he was racist, he was sexist, like, legit. I don't just throw around those words. And I was like, well, you know, there's no question I have to tell somebody about it. I have to talk to the school about it. So I talked to my advisor, and then he told me to talk to this other guy. And so they had to record the comments that he made, that I told him that he made. And, like, come to find out later, people left complaints about him, but nobody was willing to come forward and talk and have their complaints recorded. Like, formally, like, actually say, okay, what did he say? And then have me tell them what he said and record that for, you know. And, you know, nobody wanted to do that. And for me, it's always like, I can't not do this. Like, I can't live with myself if I don't speak out about it or tell somebody about something like that that's important.
Is it actually more common for Fs to be female and Ts to be male?
I thought so, but
I think it is.
Yeah.
And so that always makes it interesting when you have, like, an F who's a guy or Ts who are girls. Have you had any, like, weird experiences being a T and being a girl?
I don't know. I think that sometimes... Oh, I know. Here's a good example that just happened today. I had a group project with, let's see, with 3 other people or 4 other people, and, like, I was the one who was kind of calling all the shots in a way.
Yeah.
I wasn't like bulldozing the rest of the group, but I was leading the group.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Exactly. And like,
because it's a group project, and if someone doesn't make the decisions aren't going to happen, and everybody's just going to...
Exactly. Oh, group projects suck, dude, though.
It's true.
But, like, I feel like people don't really expect that out of me to be like this, you know, because I'm a girl. I mean, look at my outfit.
You're super cute. You've got, like, these big Disney eyes.
Really? You
Yeah.
think I do? Okay, that's awesome. People are always saying that about me. They have big eyes, which is true. It is true. And then, like, when I talk, they get bigger. But yeah, people don't expect me to like say such honest things that they're like, you know, like even females, they'll just like kind of chuckle because they're like, wow, I was not expecting you to say that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest and straight up with you and anybody, you know. But I think that's kind of one of the things you face when you're a T and you're a female. People don't expect you to say all the stuff that you do say.
Yeah.
At least in my case.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just oblivious to it, but like when people first meet me, and like you even did this a little bit, like I'll say something that they're not expecting me to say, and they'll just laugh.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm like, this is completely normal for me. Why are you laughing?
Exactly. Because I was like, oh wow, she's like me, like she's just saying things and not, you know, which I think is amazing. Like that's so cool.
Well, you thought I was an INFJ.
I actually did.
Why? Why did you think that?
Because you seemed like you were a very thoughtful person. Yes, you are thoughtful. Yes, everyone. Laura's a very thoughtful human being.
Thank you.
Human being.
But
like, you know, it's like I felt like you were more thoughtful, and even that you were an English major, kind of I was like, huh, like, because I feel like this might just be stereotyping, and it probably is. But I feel like so many INFJs are into like poetry and like English, and they love all that deep stuff. Not that you can't be deep if you're an ENTP, but I just think it's really but the introspectiveness of an INFJ. You kind of had that, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. I think she might be an INFJ, but I was totally wrong.
That's funny.
Thank you so much, Laura, for interviewing me. I am so happy to be able to get to do this, and ENTP on, everybody.
That's right.
ENTP on.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.